Thank you. So, I am here to talk to you about Conscious Creations, which is my photography. I call it an offering rather than business. I'm going to talk about what I do and then how it relates to this theme of permission and self-love. So, obviously, a photography experience is an excellent gift to buy yourself and others, so you should totally buy one. But yeah, that's it now. But the main thing I want to focus on is the ethos and principles behind what I do, because that's where the real gift is. So in short, I offer a space where you can bring your authentic self and obviously express it, and maybe even find your authentic self, because it's difficult to get in touch with ourselves sometimes, especially if it's new way of being. So having a container and some guidance really helps. So I use basic techniques, breathing, grounding, some gentle inquiry to see what's going on and what wants to come out. Now on paper, as I was looking at other photographers, my rivals, I noticed that a lot of the mainstream ones offer similar things on paper. They use things like come and have an empowering shoot, boost your confidence, or celebrate your curves type of thing. But mine is quite different, because the mainstream tend to use a lot of heavy makeup, quite generic and almost stereotypical posing, as well as heavy airbrushing and editing, even editing the shape of you. Now, objectively, there's nothing wrong with this. I've been behind the scenes on one of them myself, and the experience can be fun, and you do get a fantastic, beautiful image. It's a work of art. But that's actually the point. It's a work of art. It's not real. It doesn't reflect who you are necessarily. Whereas that's what I want to capture. I want to capture the real, raw, authentic human you. Now, it can be through sex and kink and dance and dress, or even things like emotional release, playing with what's actually there, rage, anxiety, tenderness, the real you we often hide. So I won't tell you how to look. There's no pressure to be sexy or anything other than how you are. And that's where I think real empowerment comes. And as I was writing this, there was a hypothetical scenario in my head of we all have days where we feel, frankly, shit, don't we? We feel ugly, we feel worthless, unlovable. And imagine on that Tuesday afternoon in your scruff, you look at a photo from one of those shoots and think, oh God, I looked amazing, I look perfect, look incredible. But that's not how you look now, is it? In that moment, because we're not unlikely to be heavy makeup, we're not posing and walking around in these ways, we're not using edited mirrors or filters in real life. And I think that could be potentially quite disempowering. It's a reminder of this is what I could be, or even should be, but it's not who you are now. Whereas if you had a photo there of a moment when you are truly your authentic self, it could be positive and happy, it could be dance sexiness, but it's come from you. It's not from me telling you how to be, it's come from within you. It's real. Or even the other way, perhaps you've had some emotion captured, some emotional release, some quite vulnerable stuff. That's going to remind you that it's okay to be like that. It's going to remind you to give you that permission, like you did in that photo shoot. So on that Tuesday afternoon, you're feeling crap, it's okay to be that way. And what that does, that creates safety within us. And that when we know our bodies, it's safe to be this way, sometimes we just sit with those negative feelings, or even it can then make room for the sexy to come, as I like to say. When it's okay to be anxious, like, oh, okay, that's fine. Oh, I can be other things now. And that's actually happened in my spaces. They've come in feeling anxious, and I've said, well, let's play with it. And they're like, what? I was like, I've come here to be sexy. It's like, well, you're feeling anxious, you're stressed. Let's play with it. And they look at me blank. Well, I sometimes look at them blank, like, I don't know what we're doing either. But then 20 minutes later, we come out of a flow, and it's like, where'd that come from? And it was just one or two questions, and like, oh, let's do that, try that. And suddenly we're both like, wow. And I'm looking at my camera like, I did that, I took that. Shouldn't sound so shocked. So, yeah. Now, there's some inspiration that from a personal experience I relate now of, I was in a kink workshop probably about 18 months ago, during a very heavy time for me, processing and exploring consciousness for the first time, and decades of stuff was shifting. And I asked for, as you do, a cathartic beating. And yeah, it's as it sounds. There was a lovely, willing woman straddled me and literally pummeled my upper body at my request. It was really heavy impact. And I was just wailing. There was waves and waves of emotion coming up. My body was convulsing. I didn't give a shit what I looked like. I was just in this process. And it still sticks with me today. But later on, I thought, what would that have been like to have seen or witnessed or had photographed? And what would that look like in a gallery? To walk in and see me like this. You've got the sexy element, the woman in kink gear and me half naked. And then, you got me, raw, unfiltered, quite challenging to look at. And then I was thinking, why is that challenging? And it's because in general, we're told our emotions don't matter, our true feelings don't matter. As a child, I heard the expression, children should be seen and not heard. And it still does something to me today, but as an adult, men don't show emotion. It's weak to other men. Women don't want a weak man. Or women don't show emotion either, because men can't handle that. Just be pretty and sexy all the time. We're told to suppress how we're feeling. And then sexual expression, either don't talk about sex, or, as I've met sometimes, you're into that. That's weird, isn't it? And so yes, whatever it is, emotion, sexual expression, other things, we're told to suppress it. Whereas in the space I try and create, there's full permission to be however you want to be. And to say again, that's where real empowerment comes from. And my own journey with that has resulted in a bright purple mohawk, which I absolutely love. Wanted it for decades. So just one thing on the process, and I'll share some of my work. So having a container and a witness is in itself quite cathartic and helpful, but the photography itself does add an edge, because we often pose or hide for cameras, don't we? And I don't know why this came to mind of like being at a family wedding or event and I'm just miserable, can't be arsed, want to go home, camera comes out, happy families, smile, then back to reality. We put on this facade, don't we? Or we just hide, I don't want the photos taken. So to be that raw and vulnerable with a camera is in itself edgy. It adds a bit of challenge, but there's potential cathartic growth in that as well, to be witnessed and, of course, have a lovely set of photos to take home. So that's enough about the process. I'm going to share with you some of the work that I've done. But the first thing I'm going to do is share a paraphrase of a message I got from a client about a few months after the photo shoot. I don't know if you can read that, I'll paraphrase it. So bear in mind, I was having a bad day this day in a field taking a picture of an aircraft. And then I got this. I was like thrown by it. So in short, with each batch of photos, they became less reactive to seeing their body. The bits they previously liked, they were beginning to love. The bits they found difficult to allow people to see, they were accepting. Their imagination had come from insecurity and external criticism and not self-love. And this is the bit that I really found validation for me in. I really see the value in your work, and by touching up the images would take that away. Now, I mean, that was a gift for me to receive, but what a gift for themselves as well. And what I found interesting from that shoot, I don't think we'd set that intention explicitly. We may have done. But it was just a flowing, fun, light, playful shoot, and that was the result, sort of indirectly, of just being free to express themselves, and months after the event as well. And so that's the point of just being in flow, giving yourself permission to be how you want to be. So that's the thing to take home with you, to give yourself permission when you're dancing, when you're exploring sensations, when you're shouting, when you're roaring, when you're being tender, when you're being cheeky, whether you're just being a goddess. or playing with nature. Just being in flow. Or having a joyous moment in a purple hat. I love that. Or have a go with removing the masks. Or just generally give yourself permission to dress how you want and look absolutely awesome doing it. Also give yourself permission when you are exploring. It gets better. When you're curious. When you're adventurous. Guess what's coming next? When you're conducting yourself with general good taste. I'm going to let that linger for a minute. Let's end on that. But also, remember, more importantly, give yourself permission when you're feeling raw and vulnerable and emotional. So, in short, I invite you, or Simon invites you, to give yourself permission to be how you want to be in any given moment. Yes, come and do it with me. But even without a camera, you can give yourself that gift every single day, and that is the ultimate gift of self-love. Thank you.